We are teaming up with Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app. Play Powerball, Mega Millions, even scratch-offs, all with just a couple taps. New customers get $5 in lottery credits when you download the app, opt in, and use code SUPERFAN at sign-up.
We will get back to the silly stuff in a few minutes, but I did want the listeners of this show to get at least a little bit of information because we're so fractured about how it is we consume things these days. Everyone has their own form of media. And in and among Hispanic communities, the way that folks are getting their news these days, more than ever, is TikTok. It's not Telemundo. It's a lot of Hispanics in this country are getting it through TikTok. And if you don't know what's happening in this country, immigrants, exiles, Latinos are scared, I think. And so Carlos Eduardo Espina is a TikTok journalist, I'm going to call it. Thank you for joining us, Carlos. If you want information on what it is that we're going to be talking about, you can follow him across all social media platforms and at Carlos_Eduardo Espina. So thank you for joining us. And just tell us how it is you're getting your news to people because you're a bit of a new kind of journalist.
Yeah, no, well, thank you for having me. I mean, this is something that started 5 years ago during the pandemic. It almost started as, just an accident. I was bored at home, started making videos about citizenship classes, and it just blew up during that big boom that there was on social media in early 2020. And since then, I've been making 10 up to 15 or 20 videos a day, just, constant news and opinions on everything that's going on. And how do I stay informed? I'm always reading, different news sites. I'm always on different platforms, a lot of also community journalism. People will just send me videos of what's going on the ground and I'll react to it, respond to it. So just a bunch of different ways of getting information out there. But now with social media, everything is so fast paced. You always have to be, on the lookout for what's next, what's happening, and put it out in front of the audience as soon as possible.
So tell us what's the information you're getting on the ground that is real, that is factual about ICE raids in this country that I think most rational human beings watching these ICE raids can know that this isn't what America is supposed to look like.
Yeah, so very early on, during when Trump just assumed office, there was a lot of people who were hopeful. They were like, hey, they're only going to go after the worst of the worst criminals and, the people who have committed horrible crimes, which I think everyone agrees with, right? No one wants people who have committed horrible crimes in the country. But then the video started coming out of, hey, I was at this gas station and they just picked up a bunch of guys who were looking out for work outside of outside of Home Depot or all these other places. And a lot of these videos have only come to light because there's just someone, at the right place at the right time, or maybe at the wrong place at the wrong time, just pulling out their phone and recording it, putting it on social media, sending it to bigger accounts like myself so we can amplify it. And you really do see a lot of the unfiltered. I mean, some of the videos I can't even show on my platforms just because they're so strong that, with censorship and with community guidelines and all that. But I think that community journalism, just very on the ground, is really what has moved, a lot of people's minds.
What can't you show? What do you feel people are not hearing or understanding about what's going on with these raids if they're only consuming traditional news?
Yeah, I think a lot of times it's very sanitized what ends up like on actual news. For example, if you have an instance of a agent beating up someone or, using language that's not appropriate for social media, you can't really show that, so you have to censor, you have to kind of explain around it. But there are other platforms, for example, I found, so I started on TikTok, but I found that YouTube is also, a lot more, basically you can post a lot more without censorship. So over the past few months, I've grown a lot on YouTube as well, but it's really just trying to get that raw video out there and then people can form their own opinions. They can see with their own eyes what's going on. And like you said, I think most people come to the same conclusion that while immigration enforcement is necessary, the way it's being done right now is just completely out of hand and not okay.
Can you talk about the impact of the fear and the chaos going on in these communities caused by these raids?
Yeah, so I think what many people didn't expect, especially Latinos who voted for Donald Trump, is they didn't realize, or maybe they did, they just didn't think it would impact them, that the Latino community is just so, leans so much on each other that, we have our own restaurants, our own places to go party, our own, everything, our own businesses. And so when the ICE raids really started picking up, a lot of Latino businesses took a huge hit because people weren't going out as much. They're not eating out. They're not, basically doing the day-to-day stuff that they usually did. And so a lot of business owners are now, debating whether to shut down. Some people have already had to shut down. And a lot of times it's people, who supported Donald Trump because they thought the economy would get better under him. But the economy, at least within the Latino community, is not getting much better. And many of these small businesses, particularly, are being hit very, very hard.
Can you explain what someone's rights are? Immigrant, bystander, anyone's rights if they're caught up in an ICE raid?
Well, so that's the thing is, right, a lot of preparation for all this that was going to happen is, hey, we have these rights that must be respected. You have the right to ask for an attorney, ask for a warrant, you can record stuff. But we've seen, and I think this is what really caught the attention of many people, agents who maybe are poorly trained or just don't care, who are just violating people's rights, blatantly. And it's being caught on camera. And you have organizations like the ACLU. I mean, when you see those instances of people's windows being smashed, you would tell someone, hey, you have the right to stay in there until they show you a warrant. You can call your attorney, but that's not really being followed. So I think right now we're in uncharted territory almost. I mean, we've seen people be arrested for recording law enforcement, which once again is not illegal. If I see Border Patrol, doing a raid somewhere I'm at, I can pull out my phone and record, but even that's being, attacked. So it's very hard to tell people what's permissible now, because we have what the Constitution says, what the law says, and then what's actually going on. And unfortunately, they're two different things.
Carlos, do you ever look back, because obviously you're doing a very important work, do you ever look back to 2020 when you were bored on TikTok before you do your first video and you're sitting there and you're like, I could do a dance, I could cook, or I could talk about immigration? And then you decided, you know what, this is the route I'm going to go. You ever look back and think, what if I did cooking or dancing or anything like that?
Yeah, so that's exactly the reason why I didn't go on TikTok until that late on, because it was already,
Bad dancer.
TikTok started blowing up, yeah, in 2019. But I remember my friends would send me TikTok videos. I'm like, this is like the dumbest app ever. I thought it was like, for like it was when Charlie D'Amelio was blowing up and all, and I was like, I don't really care about this. But when the pandemic came, so before the pandemic, I used to volunteer every weekend teaching citizenship classes in person. I would be like 10, 15 people show up to my classes, but then we couldn't get together in person anymore. So that's kind of where the idea came. I was like, hey, maybe I should start doing stuff on social media. I started on Facebook, but people were like, hey, you should try TikTok. And I was like super anti-TikTok. I was like, you know what? I'm going to cave. I'm going to do one video on TikTok. And my first video just blew up. And I was like, wow, this is actually a very powerful platform. And I realized, that on social media, it's not so much the platform. It's, if there's content out there that you don't like, you can create your own content and there'll be people that like it as well. So that's how I found my niche, and it went very well.
Chris Cody says that's what pays the bills.
He's like, I was anti-TikTok. Now he's like, let's go
Yeah.
You found your
TikTok.
niche, but what if you would have gone quiche? You know what I mean?
No, I mean, it's just it was really interesting, the growth, because TikTok was just so revolutionary in that sense, where a lot of people like myself, we were very like against it, but we realized the issue is not the platform itself. It's just that when it was so new, the content that was on there just wasn't that diverse. And now you have like all types. You have attorneys are on TikTok, you have journalists are on TikTok. I mean, there's all kinds of content, and it's such a great platform now.
But what if you were like the immigration rights dancer, and you were
I
doing
mean,
the
people-
dancing videos
so
while
people-
giving the information?
People have proposed. I mean, they've told me like, hey, you should open
Travis
up,
Kelce proposed.
some other platforms as well. And I don't give into that, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting. People, there's like, I don't know if you've seen, there's an attorney. He's like,
Yeah.
he shows up with like all this jewelry and all these rings, and he's got his own style. So I think that's the cool thing about like TikTok. It's a lot of people who weren't content creators, who never try to be content creators, become one, and then just kind of find their own, I guess, area on the platform.
But how does this work? The news cycle doesn't stop. Raids are continuing around the clock. You are taking a break in the middle of this because I imagine that, yes, it's business, but you're also doing work, I don't know, to protect Hispanics?
Yeah, so it's like it's almost like, social media is really interesting, where it's not like a traditional job where you have a set schedule. It's mostly like in between things. I'll be at different events or at meetings, but I'll be checking my phone constantly, or even be out with my family, and I'm like, hey, I need to check my phone real quick in case something happened. And there's been many occasions where I'm like, let's say for example, at a dinner, I'm like, hey, I have to step outside real quick to make a video. So it's not like I have a set schedule. It's most like, sometimes things just happen. I mean, one very big example of this was I was on the way to Miami for the Copa America final last year, And right as I was about to board my flight, that's when they did the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And I was like, wait, I can't miss this. So I had to cancel my flight, rebook it, and I was like inside the airport making all these videos. I made like minute to minute coverage on what was going on. But I guess that's just part of the job. It is what it is.
He is the Adam Schefter of how do you pass the U.S. Citizenship test. It is a strange way to go viral. It's not the way that most people do it.
Yeah.
I do wonder, though, where do you believe most of the misinformation, confusion about what's going on is coming from? Because I don't think most reasonable people, if I present them with some of your videos of like, look, do you think your landscaper friend should be treated like this? I think most Americans would be appalled.
Yeah. So I think, one thing I've learned over the years is most people who are, in support of what's going on right now are not bad people. I think they just grew up in different environments and get different sources of information that maybe they haven't been exposed to what's really going on. And I mean that is in the sense of, I grew up in College Station, Texas. It's pretty conservative. I have a lot of friends who voted for Donald Trump. And over the past few months, like we'll be playing soccer or whatever, they'll come up to me and be like, hey, like I didn't really know like this is the extent of what was going on. I thought like they genuinely thought they were going to go after like the worst of the worst criminals, what's being shown on Fox News, what Donald Trump is saying in his speeches. And when you start to realize like, hey, it's actually like my friends, my coworkers, people I know. And that's why I think the work that I do and many others are doing is just so important because I think this country is fundamentally made up of very good people who a lot of times just don't have, the full information. And there are people who genuinely think, these raids are targeting the worst of the worst, which in some cases is true, but in the majority is not. That's one aspect. Then the other aspect too is like social media has gotten completely out of hand. And I say that as a content creator. I mean, you said in the beginning, like, most people, especially Latinos, are getting their information on social media. I guess that's good for me, but I think as a society, it's not very good. And the reason why is there's just so much misinformation. And now with artificial intelligence, it's gotten completely out of hand. I mean, people use my image, for example. They'll make like this wild video of, oh, good news. If you pay this guy $500, he'll get you a work permit in an hour. And everyone's like, wow, Carlos is saying it, so it must be true. And I'm like, that's not me. It's artificial intelligence. But especially when you have older people who maybe didn't grow up in that environment, they can't tell. And it just, there's so many layers to, the misinformation, disinformation, just fake news, artificial intelligence, all that. I think it is very dangerous to have a society that relies solely on social media for their information. And I say that as someone who has in many ways benefited from this landscape.
But therein lies the problem. You say that a lack of information is the biggest issue here, but you're not even getting true information from the administration themselves. It's been reported that up to 71% of the arrests that ICE have made are people with zero criminal background. And when pressed on this, the administration says that's not the case. So how do people actually get access to information when we're in a post-truth world?
Yeah, well, that's the question I struggle with the most because, on social media, there's just so much information that you can be very selective. And, for example, my algorithm is very, slanted into one way. I'm sure other people's are slanted in other ways. And I guess the question becomes is how can we, step away from social media as much as possible and actually have genuine face-to-face conversations. And I think that's where the real difference is made because what social media has created is almost these echo chambers where, people are being fed the same stuff over and over again. And if you're fed 100 videos of Donald Trump saying, oh, we've only gotten all criminals and there's no hardworking good people in the raids, well, then you start to believe that. And so I think, how do you break that structure? It just takes, meeting people where they're at, trying to as best as possible. And a lot of times face-to-face interaction is the only way you can really break through because otherwise it just becomes an impossible task.
Carlos, thank you for being on with us.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying I know that's a very like gloomy answer, like very dystopian answer, but I am really worried for the future, not of just of our country, society in general, with everything going on social media, technology, AI, and all that. So we'll see how things end up.
You're worried, are you? You're worried.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, look at you. You're on the middle of a sports show, and look at what we're talking about. Why would you be worried about that?
No, well, that's what sports are for, right? I love to play. I play soccer every weekend, every day almost, to distract myself from what's going on, at least from an hour or two. So, Keep up the good work. That's always important.
You too. Thank you for being on with us. You can follow him across all social media platforms at Carlos_Eduardo_Espina. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.
You too. I am seeing all over my televisions in here, Lee Corse. Are we going to actually do this correctly this weekend? We're going to have a giant Game 1 football weekend.
Haven't we? We did it. We got here. How do they screw it up? They kick him in the ass on the way out?
I'm just saying that Lee Corso being the big story, we're going to allow someone to age with grace. As we ran one president out of office for getting old, and the other one dies in front of us, hiding his ankles from us, and is also senile. We're going to let Lee Corso on television get old gracefully and send him off correctly.
Did you just make a prediction?
That'd be in the Sueys next year.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's ask Amin.
Got to be worried about the whole. Let me not say it. Never mind.
Why'd you
on with your show?
Seriously, why'd you make it about that? But that felt gratuitous.
No, because
this is about Lee Corso.
You got multiple 80-year-olds wandering around out there. We're questioning the mental health of 80-year-olds. People are comfortable mocking the old. Dick Vitale has been a polarizing figure for the.
We're celebrating Lee. We're celebrating.
You keep doing that. We did that. Like 10 years ago, people were having their go at Lee, and he had to admit. I think over the last few years, it's actually been a beautiful thing. People understand what they're seeing on television. Yeah. Everybody knows that Lee Corso has been battling through stuff. Everyone sees the beauty in that friendship that is on that set.
Well, and they haven't forced it, right? Because he hasn't been on every single week.
He'll do like a couple.
Time.
He'll do like a couple. No, he's there most weeks, but he'll do like a segment or two.
They've been sunsetting him over the course of a few years on that show. Yeah. Has it had its hiccups because he's had his challenges? Yes, I think the internet, which is generally a cruel place, has been kind of understanding when it comes to this one, to the point that we're going to have this beautiful moment. He's probably going to have some struggles in that broadcast because he's had struggles in almost every broadcast over the last few years. And I think people will be understanding, appreciative, grateful, and loving.
It's just nice to see is all I'm saying.
I wonder how they're going to do it because normally, they end the show with him making the pick, right?
Which they will.
Yeah, they will.
I think that'll be.
They're
going to
go about it as if everything is normal. I don't know.
Herbie is going to be a puddle of emotion.
They'll bring Fowler out at some point. Old friends,
Goosies. Yeah. It's going to be incredible.
You can't put on the Longhorn helmet though in front of the Ohio State. They're going to boo him. They're going to boo him.
That'd be great. One last rib on the way out. He gets booed
because he did Brutus first, right? So everyone is just assuming he's going to go Ohio State.
I love that.
I would zag. I'm with you.
Zach?
I would zag.
Yeah, zag.
Stugotz?
Zigging? All right.
I thought you said you were with Zag. I got confused for a moment there.
Yeah, we all did.
Everyone's expecting something. I would zag.
I mean, I was called Stugotz earlier.
Steve Martin, also a prop comment.
Huh. Yeah, guys, Betty White's situation's not going to happen. We're 3 days away. We're good.
I hope so.
God.
Wow, Jesus.
That's a prediction.
Whoa.
I'm saying it's not. I'm putting it out there because you guys are all throwing out there, and I'm saying that's not going to happen.
No, I don't think anybody threw
That's all I'm saying. Just like Dan was only saying that it's beautiful what we're doing. That's all I'm saying.
I concur. That's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I hope not.
I'm not going down this glib path.
I don't know why you even said that.
But I don't think it changes the program.
Much.
It's
going
to
drastically change.
It's
get more viewers.
No, it's going to be a celebration of his life, and the only thing that'd be missing. Well, I'm not doing that.
A celebration of his life.
That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be done. It shouldn't happen.
They would get more viewers.
I don't think so.
Let's not do that.
No,
we're not.
How are the ratings going to be? Are you guys actually interested in this? Because many people object to all the ratings talk out here, but I'm interested in what the competition between these two shows becomes.
I don't give a flying rat's ass about the competition between the two shows. I will see social clips of Big Noon. I don't care about the ratings. I hope it does a great number just because that's great for that show and Lee Corso. I only care about saying goodbye to one of television's greatest morning heroes.
What if Lee zacks and next week 2 he's on Big Noon? And this is all put on the whole time. Then he goes to Big Noon.
His contract actually just expired, and he just goes to Big
Noon.
Big
heel turn.
The real question is, did they offer it? Obviously, he'd say no. But did Fox reach out of like, hey, week 2, you're with us?
It'd be cool.
That would be a move.
You remember when Ravishing Rick Rude showed up on Nitro and Raw in the same week?
Same night.
That was crazy.
Crazy. crazy.
Corso has the type of swagger about him, and that he could just walk onto that
Or
Fox
just
set
wanders to the wrong
and
set.
get a
Who
tribute
knows?
from him. Look,
They're both in
Wanders
Columbus.
to the wrong set.
no, not wanders. Like with intention. All right, with intention, he just goes over to Fox, and he's like, a lot of you guys, Rinaldi, Felica, you all used to be here. You know what?
He might get. All right.
You know what Rinaldi needs to do? What Rinaldi needs to do for Big Noon is Big Noon needs to also pay tribute to Lee Corso.
Yes.
Because there is no Big Noon without College Game Day. We all know this.
They should send people over at whatever it is, 11:45. Hey, you come back next week, but you go pay respect to Lee Corso.
Everybody. Rob Stone, like it should be simulcast.
Yes.
The final headgear should be simulcast.
We will be silent for the next 12 minutes. Then they all sit there.
That's what Portnoy's going to go do. Reverence
The respect,
for Lee
though.
Corso.
The
You're
respect.
right. They should.
We will
do
now
that.
be silent, and then they all
That's
just
right.
sit there in
Yes.
silence.
And Urban Meyer just stares straight ahead with a guy in a bong in a mirror smoking something as he talks or doesn't talk. Dirty Urban.
I still revisit that video where he's telling that dude to get out of the way on the boat. What's going on there?
It's the Urban Meyer catastrophe. The Urban Meyer catastrophe in the pros.
The guy in the mirror seems to be having a great time.
But wait a minute. For everyone to know how that was going to fail, and then for that to fail, like, with pictures in a bar in Ohio State, with a guy in a mirror smoking a bong on a yacht while he does an interview,
It's just like what you have to be as a head coach, and what we knew about him in front of the press conference backdrop was Urban Meyer is a certain way. He gets success. He's kind of like the dictator ruler of this
And
program.
he had health issues. He had to step down because of just the health issues.
In the end, dude loved to party.
I'm sure he'll stop on Saturday to honor Lee Corso. And
We will now be silent for 12 minutes.
They should say, look, we're going to make our predictions here. We understand we're trying to build something here at Big Noon. Yeah. But head on over to ESPN.
It's a great idea.
I would be more likely to tune back in next week to Fox if they did that.
I would say classy from you, Fox.
I would give them a standing ovation
Classy
in my
from you.
living room. Wow.
Now, I'm not
Yeah.
watching the show regardless, but if I saw that clip, I'd be like, okay,
Good
further
on you.
incentivized.
Good on you guys. That's what I'd say.
And the way that you guys watch television these days, as we go into one of these dirty weekends to get ready for football.
Stop doing that. It's not a dirty weekend. It's an
dirty to
awesome
me.
weekend. First weekend since 1945 we've had this. It's all up. There's such an uptick in vibes right now. This is beautiful. This is not dirty.
You misinterpreted what my dirty meant. When I said one of these dirty weekends, I meant the people who listen to this show will spend a weekend on their couch watching nonstop football.
Not taking a shower.
And not showering. Like
So smelly.
We're headed into Red Zone Sundays, and this is the warm-up. The warm-up is 3 games with top 10 teams, and also Lee Corso kicking it off, leading you to Arch Manning, and that game. And when I asked the question, as everyone gets all excited about college football, the network that has the game is not the one with Lee Corso, correct? So you have to change channels in order to find Lee Corso's moment. And before a game,
To find the game, I'd say. They'll probably be on course.
Yeah,
though.
wouldn't you assume the automatic move
I'm
Saturday morning is ESPN?
asking you guys. So the changing of a channel is not really something we do now in modern age, where we go to a television at an appointed time.
I think we can handle it.
I think we can handle it too, but what I'm asking you is the game usually dictates whether you get the numbers before the game. That's usually how that works.
I've been conditioned because Fox, with their Big Ten package, always prioritizes that noon window, much to the frustration of the Big Ten fan base. I think more often than not over the last few years, I see the headgear and I switch to the next channel. Or I go to whichever game I'm betting on, which for me is the biggest game of the weekend.
You get the YouTube TV, you get the 4-box.
I think also like the big game is never on ESPN after College Game Day, so you're just kind of used to that routine on Saturdays. You're never like, okay, now I'm going to stick to ESPN,
you're right,
and
that's
it's
true.
Minnesota, and it's like this is not the big game.
Yeah, it's
today.
always Saturday nights.
Yeah.
You're right.
And are we at a point now, given what network and cable television is or the way that people watch this, that you're not excluding the poor when you say you've got multiple devices? You're watching, you're addicted to action. And so if you've got a television, you've also got your device working in a way that allows you to watch both things at the same time if you want to.
We're born for this. We've been conditioning for this weekend. You know, in 1945, the last time they had this top 10 matchups to start a season, I'm sure they were flummoxed.
I mean, there's enough games on regular television starting in the afternoon that you don't need to get crazy with the subscription services. There's still enough games.
Well, I don't know. I think YouTube TV has till 5 o'clock today to settle a dispute with Fox.
Oh. I was just saying, isn't there something going on as well with the ABC affiliate down here too?
ABC is channel 18.
That's
so
weird.
if you want to watch, because it's now owned by the Sunbeam Television locally. This is inside that owns Channel 7, the Fox affiliate down here. One affiliate owns 2 of the networks.
Just tell me where to go to watch my games.
Channel 18. Just have you'll find it. Just say sports in your remote.
Put it on the poll.
Mike, come change my channel.
It's very easy. And then it'll be like, the Premier League, it's a disaster. Brighton and Hove Albion? Bite me in Cove? What? No, Chelsea FC. No, not Chelsea Handler.
Chris, Cody, what do we have here for the final Suey performance of the day?
We have a new category, I'd say. It's a musical performance category, and I would say the last half dozen years, best musical has just been dominated by the Yetis, the Streeters, the Jeremys, doing these high-produced, well-produced songs. And I want to show some love to the other people, the people that call in the Boost Mobile songs, the Rafe LaFriends, the Doliacs,
the bad songs,
Taylor singing terribly,
the bad songs.
So we're having a new category this year. It's called Worst of the Best Musical Performances.
And now the Suey nominees for Worst of the Best Musical Performance. The best of different listeners singing about Rafe LaFrentz and Michael Doliak.
Don't try to take Rafe LaFrentz to the hole, 'cause you will not score. You know who that is. That is Rafe LaFrentz. Who the F are you?
Jeremy Tachet's unfinished Tony Reali song.
Tony's new YouTube duo. This is great. When positivity reigns, things are fresh in their light. Tony Reali's full of life. And now he comes to you, might have a guest or two. Tony Reali's full of life. Fresh forever, Tony Freshness. Fresh forever with Tony Fresh and full of life.
Listener from Boldest Take singing about Alexander Madison.
Alexander Madison. My name is Alexander Madison.
David Sampson, All I Need.
All I need is just a little more time to be sure how I feel. Is it just in my mind?
More listeners singing about Rafe LaFrentz and Michael Doliak.
He's in the paint, in the paint. Doliak, Doliak, Doliak. I would do anything for love, but I won't Doliak. Oh no, said I won't Doliak.
Listener serenades Sergei Bobrovsky.
Ba 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 Bobrovsky. Ba 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 Bobrovsky. Ba 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 Bobrovsky. Stop that shot.
Listener sings about Tua Tagovailoa.
And I'm here to remind you of the check down pass that you threw to me. He's got gray hair. He's left-handed with the eye black cross that you wear for me. Tua Tagovailoa.
Taylor Vippolis, Belichick is coming to town.
He sees you when you're practicing. He knows your favorite plays. Your script won't work on the first first drive, 'cause he's got it all on tape. Oh, you better watch out, he's getting his guys. You better find out that ball's PSI. Belichick is coming to town.
Even more listeners singing about Rafe LaFrentz and Michael Doliak.
Rafe LaFrentz played several places, started out at Kansas, ended up with the Blazers. He was just okay, but they let everyone in, so Hall of Famer one day. Oh, he blocked shots back in people's faces, and he knocked down threes on a regular basis when Rafe LaFrentz played in all those places.
Doliak, he's 6 feet from the rim, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet is close enough.
Taylor Vippolis, fire Mac Brown.
Well, I'd fire Mac Brown. Yeah, I'd fire Mac Brown. Watching this team is my personal hell. Yeah, I'd fire Mac Brown.
I'm not sure that deserved to be a category.
Oh, man.
All the Boost Mobile calls. Got to do something with those.
No, we don't. We could have just never thought of them again. We could have just never thought of them again.
One of the options was upholding a standard.
And then I thought that was on the table, but
Worst
instead,
of the best, guys.
Billy came in here and harumphed something today that made me feel like he soon is going to be an abuelo. He came in here and he said 50 home runs used to mean something.
Oh, that is true. I mean, it wasn't a talking. It's just sometimes it's just a comment. It wasn't for talking on air about. Just 50 home runs used to. Did it not used to mean something? 50 home runs.
It did.
Yeah. Cal Raleigh has 50 home runs. Happened 2 days ago. No one here was talking about it. Nope. Used to mean something.
So did baseball.
Used to sit down and be like, oh, 50 home runs.
You know what they're doing right now? This Seattle-San Diego. You know what that is, right? You know what it is? It's the Vetter Cup.
Oh.
For Eddie Vedder and Pearl Jam. They're playing the Vetter Cup. That's right. And Cal Raleigh, he won the Better Man MVP award the other day.
This is Pearl Jam dorking out he's doing. People are so tired of that. It's the only part of Zaslow they don't
Major League
like.
Baseball.
I'll take things that were relevant in 1995.
Well, Mariners and Padres are doing it. Vetter Cup.
To Billy's point, Amin said earlier in the show that Cal Raleigh is on pace to break Judge's AL home run record, and we're just like, meh.
Do you think they're going to break into programming for that? Because I have my doubts. They're not going to do. They did it for a Yankee, but they're not doing it for a big dumper.
No, I don't think so. And poor Maris's kid is probably like, I'll be there. I'll be there. Like, Roger Jr., not your time anymore, buddy.
So 61 doesn't mean anything anymore?
It didn't mean anything since 1998. Then we tried to pretend to make it a thing. Like, this is the AL home run record. It's like no one gives an AL about that.
ESPN.
Hell.
ESPN. Straight up. If you eat into Memphis, Cincinnati for a Cal Raleigh at bat, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to ESPN, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you.
A riot would have sufficed.
I'm going to kill you.
I don't even what?
I'm going to kill you, ESPN. Look, every crew's got roles. On a team, on a group text, at a watch party. You've got the stat nerd, the vibes guy, the one who thinks they're the coach, and then there's the real MVP, the person that brings the cooler. And what's in that cooler? If it's not Miller Lite, I'm checking the roster. It's the 50th anniversary of Miller Lite. 50 years of showing up in big moments. Post-game tailgates, NBA watch parties, road trips to road games where you swore the refs were out to get you. Through it all, that clean, crisp Miller Lite taste just gets it done. 96 calories, 3.2 carbs. It's light, but it doesn't tap out early. You're over there arguing over who the GOAT is, shouting about NIL deals. Someone's grilling. Miller Lite is always there, playing its role to perfection. Brewed for taste, simple ingredients, a legend since 1975, and still a first ballot Hall of Famer in my cooler. Miller Lite. Great taste. 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller Lite. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
I'm understanding that some people are upset. They're upset at me. I didn't know this until right now. What are you laughing about, Juju? Why, you're laughing at my pain, at my suffering. Yeah, it's unfair. And I know what happened. I felt it when it happened. And I went into the other room and I asked Chris, can we get Diana on for 5 more minutes at the end of the show so people will stop freaking out about they thought I was mean to her? And I did. I could just feel it. Even though Diana's kind of crazy, the insiders are crazy, and she was distracted. And
You're making it better.
It's a weird apology.
I felt like she was super distracted during our segment, and her thoughts were racing because her mind was elsewhere. And so I wanted to give her the reprieve of, do you want to stop working over here so you can do what you have to do over there?
I felt the exact same energy from her. It seemed like she was like, oh, I'm here because I like these guys, but I have something I really need to be doing. So I just felt like we were throwing her a bone of like, hey, you don't have to be here.
No, that's right. We were throwing her a bone. And she's a big enough girl to say, yes, I need to step away. And she said, no, I'm fine.
No, but she also fled the shot for 9 minutes because she wasn't fine while I needed to talk to her.
So if we were to have called her back for the 5 minutes, it would be for her to apologize to us?
I don't even know if she's upset. I think she was distracted during
Let's figure that out next week.
Okay, we'll talk to her about it again.
Yeah.
I wanted to actually do football with her. What other complaints did people... I'm sorry, Diana. I will apologize to her on and off air, and also she's a crazy person.
Well, come on, man.
Why is it so distracting? Someone else broke the Adam Thielen story. All right, life moves on.
That's correct. That's how you react to that if you're a normal human being. That is correct.
Yes, sir. Also, Amin El Hassan was clearly lying. He don't know nothing about Adele wedding. He's not invited to the Kelsey. He just came on here today and spit a whole bunch of lies to us. Salute to my brother.
It did seem like almost total fraudulence, but Mike got sucked in by Amin's credibility on being an insider. Is that what happened? Because Mike believes that Amin knows what no one else knows, which is that Adele was able to keep secret her marriage to Rich Paul.
I think Amin done stepped in it, Juju.
Mm-hmm. I'm picking up what you're putting down, brother's ass.
It doesn't seem like you are, though. It seems like you're calling Amin a liar. You're saying that he made something up and then fled the premises with lies.
Yes, sir. Once y'all doubled back and then he just kept the topic on the Kelseys and being invited, I'm like, oh, they got my boy. I know that look on his face. Seen it plenty of time.
Every once in a while, because Juju's got an artist's eye, he likes to find things that are artistic. So I ask you guys this question here. What is this photo of? How would you describe this photo to the audio audience, Juju?
Man, perfection within a tennis racket. It's like Ghostface Killer meets Casper the Friendly Ghost meets Jasmine Paolini, like the photographer Ray, I want to say his name right, Ray Guabilia. Please forgive me, brother.
Nailed it.
Yeah. But yeah, he took the perfect picture, well-timed, where the tennis racket logo is perfectly placed over her eyes, nose, and mouth, and she looks like she's about to rob somebody. And it always makes me think of my brother Billy Gill, because he says photographers are just lucky guys. They just be. Do you think that was luck, or do you think that was brilliant by Brother Ray?
I mean, I will say this. I did have a lot of people send me that photo. Some said things, some didn't say things. I saw, some people say this shot was 1 in a million. And I said, you know what? I agree with that. It's 1 in the 1 million photos Ray took in that moment, and then went through and said, oh, wow, this lines up perfectly. So great job, Ray. You killed it with the shutter speed. And that one was in there. 1 of the million that you took in that situation.
Juju, this photo reminds me of dead presidents. Do you agree?
Yes, sir. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And this photo actually inspired me to make a top 10 list of best sports photos ever that I can think of.
Whoa, top 10? A top 10 list of best photos? Okay, let's do this. OLI or just number 10?
Number 10. Dominique Foxworth on the ground watching Michael the Burner Turner sprint for a touchdown.
Great one.
A highly questionable favorite.
Yes, sir. All you see is Foxworth and pay dirt. Number 9, Vince Carter jumps over the brother in the Olympics.
Oh, Frederick Weiss.
Yes, sir. Still, how?
That's all you know about Frederick Weiss.
Oh, yeah, it's all anyone knows about him.
That name is just associated with Vince Carter jumped over
His
you.
family learned about him that day.
Number 8, Kawhi Leonard waiting for the ball to end the Philadelphia 76ers season.
Great one.
Masterpiece.
It's a great list.
Number 7, Billy Gill soaring in the air mid pole vault. Oh,
I'm not even sure that's the best Billy Gill photo we have, unless you have
Lots
Billy
to choose
Gill.
from,
yeah,
yeah.
Billy Gill beating Pablo Torre and Amin Al Hassan in a race.
yes, sir. Number 5. What am I? Number 6. Brandy Chastain celebrates in the only way she knew how.
It's a good list of photos so far.
Yes, sir. Number 5, Allen Iverson steps over Tyronn Lue in the only game they got in that championship.
Yes.
That's very high, Juju. You're putting that high on the list.
Yes, sir. Number 4, Billy Gill beats Pablo and Amin,
There it
looking
is.
like
Yes,
Superman
yes, there it
himself
is.
in a
Ahead
foot
of
race.
Iverson.
It's a great photo. It deserves to be ahead of Iverson.
Yep. Number 3, Muhammad Ali standing over Sonny Liston. Got his ass.
That was better than 4.
That's 3? Wow.
Yeah. Number 2, Michael Jeffrey Jordan over Byron Russell for the championship.
So that's the best photo I've ever seen. When I saw ESPN the magazine put it on, it was a giant photo, and it's put on 2 pieces of giant paper, and you can see all the Utah fans are terrified because they know Michael Jordan and the ball's in the air, and 1 or 2 Bulls fans are like celebrating because they know the ball's going to go in.
No, I think it's one Bulls fan. It's like a kid who's in the crowd and he's holding up 6 fingers, right?
It was crazy to see all the fear around him, and the one bit of confidence was the kid in the stands who knew that it was Michael Jordan taking the shot.
Yes, sir. And the number 1 sports photo of all time, Tommy Smith and John Carlos in the Olympic medal stand. Black power, baby.
This is why Juju is wrong. It's only because the umpire who got hit in the nuts 3 times and fell dead behind home plate was a better photo taken earlier this week.
We have breaking news while Schefter reported 30 minutes ago that the Rashee Rice suspension could be a potential 6 games. It is now being reported by many, including Diana Rossini. Rashee Rice has accepted a 6-game suspension that will start week 1. He'll be eligible to return October 19th, week 7 against the Raiders.
Not invited to the Kelsey
Well, you'd
wedding.
think he'd be back for the wedding. I doubt that it'll be that quick a turnaround.
Juju, did you have any opinions on how it is that we broke down poorly the Kelsey and Taylor Swift marriage? I think I've got the order of those names wrong.
Right. I think that everybody on the Chiefs is probably invited.
No way.
But
Same way GQ did it here. He just said, hey, anyone want to go, just send me an email. I'll send you an invite.
Right. He maybe have to, but because of the popularity of the wedding, it may have to get shrunk down. So I'm more so thinking like you guys after hearing your argument, but I was thinking everybody's invited. But yeah, that's going to be an exclusive and expensive ticket. I think they should just do it Queen Elizabeth style, like just drive through Manhattan, man, and just end up where the Liberty made the parade last year and just get married in front of the masses. Invite everyone.
This is definitely one of those secret location weddings, right? Where you don't find out where the actual wedding is until they
I just don't know how you do any of this. You can't invite all the Chiefs and +1. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Damn.
It can't be all the Chiefs. Wait,
Why?
and +1s? Because then all of a sudden you've got a bunch of people at your wedding you don't know.
I mean,
I'm telling you, every teammate is not being invited.
No chance.
100%.
I'm going max 10 teammates.
No, I think it could be in the 20s, but it's going to be people he considers friends.
Juju, what did you think about the argument about the ring? I could not believe that they were shaming Travis Kelce for the ring that he bought, as if we're all diamond experts around here.
Right. I'm pretty sure that thing cost a pretty penny, whether it was the band made out of vibranium, something that's more than meets the eye than we could see. So I'm pretty sure it cost more than 2 months of his pay salary.
You mentioned Kawhi earlier in your top 10 list. Kawhi and Anthony Edwards are in China. There has been, every year this trip produces some good stuff.
Right. Kawhi is one of the funniest people in the entire world to me without trying at all. Somebody interviewed him about what does he say during the games. He was like, wet ball. When I know the shot going in, I like to say wet ball. And he's saying this to the little Chinese lady reporter, bro. It's just like so hilarious. Ant-Man, as soon as he touched down in China, he said, "Ni hao, what's happening?" in Atlanta style, like masterpiece beauty. Then he took a picture with Yao Ming and was like, "Salute to the legend. I would have dunked on Yao." But salute to the legend. I just think we should just follow them brothers around China more than once a year because it's been nothing but great content coming from out of them boys.
We're going to update the polls here in a second, but I want to remind people to find all of the stuff that Juju is doing for us. Alley Oop does an exceptional job of covering an assortment of things basketball related and not. Juju, tell people where it is to find you before we get to these polls, please.
Yes, sir. It's on the YouTube. Go to DLS Hoops. That's at DLS Hoops. Please help a brother out. We got some episodes coming out with great people. The Commissioner, Sarah Spain. We got a lot of other people that's from the universe that you would love. You feel me? So please give us some love over there. Podcast side of things, it's out in the Le Batard and Friends podcast network. So pretty much the one you're listening to right now, you can catch the pod version. But yeah, man, Alley-oop going crazy right now. WNBA, a lot of stuff. People remember earlier during the season, Dan, he was like, Asia Wilson got a wrist injury, and you asked me, does this spell trouble? And I was like, bro, they're going to be all right. And they are more than all right. They done won 11 games in a row. Now fighting for the second place tonight here in Atlanta. You know your boy will be there. But yeah, man, DLS Hoops, lock in with us.
Where does this rank in terms of biggest games that the Atlanta Dream have played, in terms of how it is that you feel about your franchise and your history with this franchise?
Right. Last game they won, they broke their single season record for wins. So we are in unprecedented territory right now. If we can hold out the Aces tonight and try to almost lock in that number 2 seed, this will be the most confident version of myself entering the WNBA playoffs thinking that we have a chance.
Let's update the polls here at Le Batard Show, please. What do we have today?
Yes, sir. Is the Eastern time zone the Lord's time zone? 59% of the audience says, yes, it is.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Did Travis Kelce go cheap on the ring?
Unbelievable question. Like, unbelievable. I can't believe how many people are comfortable doing this.
Right. 54% of the audience says, yes, he did. Yeah. What is wrong with y'all?
I can see that.
Right. Are you in on any movie that has a guy and a dog? 67% of the audience says, yes, they are. And last poll, is the Navy easier than Georgia Tech? My brothers, my sisters, this has never happened before in the history of the show.
No.
50% of the audience says yes, and 50% of the audience says no.
Wow.
And those are your polls.
Not possible. Not possible. Did not happen. Don't believe you. Liar. Like Amin Al-Hassan. Lying.